Motherhood with Sophie. Obviously, I am Sophie. I look like a bit of a slob today because it's Sunday, so I can look like a slob on a Sunday. But in today's video, I kind of wanted to talk about birth plans. So I wanted to start off, sorry, I'm gonna get comfortable. Cross-legged is like the most comfortable thing for me right now. But so I kind of wanted to start off by talking about like the pros and cons of birth plans. And obviously, I'm sure everyone knows if you're watching this video, a birth plan is just kind of a layout of what you want to expect or how you want things to go as you're giving birth. So first of all, let's talk about the pros. Obviously, open communication with you and your doctor is like one of the biggest pros. And if I keep looking down, sorry, I just have a couple of notes because I'm pregnancy brain, I can't remember stuff all the time, so I have a couple notes that I'm going through. So open communication with your doctor. When I started creating my birth plan, there was a lot of stuff that I hadn't even thought about, and now it's opened those lines of communication with my doctor of, oh, how do you do this, or how does the hospital do this, and what are the guidelines for this. So I think that's one of the biggest pros about even creating birth plan. Even if you don't take your birth plan with you, you don't really want to follow it, just kind of going through those questions and having the answers to what you want to expect from the birth is a really big pro. And that was honestly one of the main reasons why I chose to do a birth plan. It was mainly the fact of I didn't want to go into this experience, one, with the knowledge that I didn't have on certain things, and we'll go into some of those things, but also I didn't want to miss out on anything. I didn't want to have the baby, and obviously it won't matter at the end of the day if things didn't happen or whatever, but I didn't want the things that I do want to do, I didn't want to miss out on those because I hadn't shared or expressed my beliefs or opinions on those. So that was one of the biggest pros and one of the reasons why I chose to do a birth plan. Obviously, the most obvious and biggest con is that giving birth is completely unpredictable. Every single birth story is different, every woman is different, every baby is different, every hospital, doctor, everything is different, so you can't really predict. So I think a big tip on if you are making your birth plan is don't be so stuck in your ways on how you want the birth plan. You have to expect that the unexpected is going to happen and kind of just go with the flow, and you can stray from that plan if that happens. So to get started, I started with so the website The Bump. I don't know if anyone's heard it, and I will leave the link to the birth plan from The Bump. But so I printed out the birth plan from The Bump, but it's 6 pages long, and I didn't want to walk into the hospital and be like, oh, here's my 6-page long birth plan, let's like follow this, and this. I think that's just a little too crazy and a little bit too much to expect. But it was a good starter for me to think of what questions that I should be thinking about, and kind of like a base and a guideline. So I'm going to go through some of the stuff that is on the Bump birth plan, and then kind of what I chose to do for my birth plan and simplified it. My birth plan is literally 1.5 pages long, so it's not really anything. It's still on the computer right now, so I haven't printed it out yet. But let's go through it. So let me see if I can show you a little bit better. So it kind of starts out with like the basic information. So your name, your partner's name, doctor's name, hospital, due date, such and such. And I think everyone should have that on their birth plan, because so people know that it's your birth plan. And then it goes into some, my delivery is planned as vaginal, C-section, water birth. Obviously it gives you like the options to check on this one. When I did it on my birth plan, I just put that my delivery is planned as a vaginal, so I did that. It goes into a section of I'd like sorry, I've got a bit of a sore throat lately. It goes into who you'd like in the room. So I personally, I just want my partner in the room. I think it's something that we should experience together. And that's the thing, I always thought that I would want my mom in the room. And so my mom's gonna fly out, and she probably won't make it for the birth because she's in Arizona and I'm here in Illinois, and it's hard to plan when he's gonna come. But I always thought that I'd want my mom in the room, and that's just because I want my mom for everything. But I really thought about it, and it's something I want me and my partner to experience together, and he's such like a big support for me. He's always there to calm me down when I'm getting a bit like crazy or overreacting or panicking and stuff. So that was one of the things. It also has options of like if you want your other children there, or a doula, and a doula is a great option. I don't know if I would want a doula in. Maybe if I could afford a doula, I would have went with a doula. But they are great support. If you don't know what a doula is, go look it up. They are great. They're there to help you with breathing techniques and just explaining things as they're going, or giving you like back massages and stuff like that. They're a great support to have with them. And then so it kind of rolls into different things that you would like during the labor. And so there's a lot of options that they list on here. There's like music, lights dimmed, wear my contact lenses, the partner to film, take pictures, stay hydrated, little hospital staff, no students or residents. And that's something you should talk about your doctor as well. A lot of times they're like, oh, can a student or a resident come in and watch the experience? And personally, I'm not really that bothered if someone comes in, like they're learning and they're training, I get that. But a lot of people just want as minimal as possible because it's already chaotic with how many people are in there. So for that one, I kind of just, mine wasn't so much like what I want there. I did put that I want my partner to film and take pictures, since we are going to try and record the birth and make a vlog about it. And that's something also that you need to check with the hospital, what their rules and guidelines are on things like that. But for my part, for during the first stages of labor, I just put that I'd like to move around as much as possible. I hate sitting still, especially when I get in pain and uncomfortable. I get more agitated. So I want to move around as much as possible. I want to have access to the bath and shower if needed. That has helped me a lot throughout my pregnancy, having a bath or standing in the shower. The warmth and the heat of it just kind of relaxes everything for me. So I want access to that. And then I kind of went into that I wanted intermediate monitoring for the baby, and that was just for my reason of I want to keep moving around as much as possible. So that's something that you can talk about as well. Sometimes you don't have an option, obviously. It just depends on the birth. Sometimes you need constant monitoring, sometimes intermediate. It just depends on how your birth is going, I guess. And then so on their second page, it kind of goes into, so like I just said, I'd like to spend the first stage of labor standing, lying down, walking around, blah, blah, blah. And then it goes into, I didn't really put anything on this, but it goes into I'm not interested in shaving my pubic area, a catheter, an IV unless I'm dehydrated, stuff like that. I didn't really go into that much detail. As far as like medical guidance, I trust my doctor, and if he's suggesting something, as long as I'm not completely uncomfortable with it, I will go through that. It went into some other stuff. It goes into, this one goes into really deep length, and I didn't want to go into that much length. And then it goes into pain relief. So for pain relief, I put as low as possible. I'm going to try and do it as natural as possible. Of course, I don't know what my pain tolerance will be. I thought I had a high pain tolerance. This pregnancy's kind of made me like, do I have so much of a high pain tolerance? So that's one thing. That I'm fine with an epidural if it comes to it. If I choose to it, I prefer not to, because obviously then there's a catheter, and then that's me not being able to walk around as much as possible. One thing that I was kind of certain about, I don't want to do Demerol if possible, just because I know that can that does in fact affect the baby and goes into the baby. It can make mother and baby drowsy, which then can have problems when you're breastfeeding. You have a drowsy baby. So that's one thing that I do want to avoid. Some women want that. It goes into all the different pain reliefs, acupuncture, meditation, reflexology, everything. So I kind of just did my basics on like the main medication that I didn't want to do. And then so they roll into during delivery, kind of what position you want to be in. I want to be upright because gravity takes place and it'll make it easier for baby to come out. Kind of what you want to bring to the hospital. That's something, we have our hospital tour in about 2 weeks now. So I guess I'll find out more what they actually have access to in the hospital. But yeah, so I want to, if they don't have it at the hospital, I want to take my birthing ball because that's like been a really big help. So it goes into that, and then it kind of goes into the delivery. So for my delivery, I kind of like combined it all together because there's a lot on there. I put that I want my partner to cut the umbilical cord. He wants to do that. I want to do that. I'm looking into research right now though on how long to wait after to cut the umbilical cord. There's certain health benefits and stuff, so that's something you might want to look into. I want to hold the baby immediately after delivery. I want that skin to skin contact. That's really important to me. And I would like to breastfeed as soon as possible. This goes into I'd like to use a mirror or touch the head as it crowns or help catch the baby, all those kinds of stuff. It goes into a lot. Goes into immediately after birth, about the umbilical cord, cord blood banking. That's a whole nother subject to go into. And then it kind of goes into your C-section option. So if C-section occurs, what are your things? Do you want a second opinion? Do you want to stay conscious? Do you want your partner? For that, I just put if a C-section is necessary, I would like my partner to remain with me the entire time if possible, and my hands left free so I can hold the baby as soon as possible, as skin to skin is a high priority for me. And then it goes into what family members you would like to. I just put that I would like my family, sorry, my little guy is trying to get all my attention right now. This is Dexter. Say hi, Dexter. Say hi. So he wants all the attention. But so I just put in that I would like that's okay. I just put that I would like, okay, get down. I would like my family members to be in, to have unlimited visiting after birth, after everything's sorted, situated, and I'm fine. That's what I went into. And then their last page, or their 5th page, they had way too much stuff. That's why I really wanted to condense it down. And obviously this is a lot of stuff, and obviously you can go back, and if you have questions, please feel free to leave comments. I kind of skipped over some of the fast stuff like cord blood banking and doulas and everything like that. If you have questions, if I do have answers, I will help you with answers, or I will push you towards a resource that that I've used for answers and stuff. So feel free to leave comments and I can go over them, or even if there's a lot of questions, I can make another video and go over the certain subjects that we are covering. But then their next page is like baby medical exams and procedures, and for that I just put that I would like all medical exams and procedures that can happen to be given in my presence when possible. And it goes into if you don't want to give your baby the vitamin K or the antibiotic eye treatment or sugar water or formula, pacifier and stuff like that. Goes into baby's first bath, and that's something that I'm still doing more research on. How long it is a good option to wait after a bath. So that's something you can look into. If you'd like baby to stay in the room or the nursery or go away when you're sleeping, I put that I want the baby to stay with me at all times if possible. And then it goes into if you're having a boy's circumcision, that's something that we are doing. We want our little boy to be circumcised. So that's something, I have a doctor's appointment on Saturday. We're gonna go over more the procedure, whether my doctor does it or a different doctor in the hospital, and kind of what's the, is it a day you wait, stuff like that. So that's things that you can discuss with your doctor as well if you are having a boy and doing circumcision. And then the last bit, which I didn't really go into as much on mine, let me see, it went down. Yeah, so it kind of goes into post-delivery and stuff. If you want to use stool softeners or laxatives, obviously for that not so fun pee thing afterwards. And then after birth, if you'd like to stay in the hospital as long as possible, short as possible, and kind of things if baby's not well, what you would like to go into. So the bump's a really good resource, and I used it, and I just pretty much basically picked what I thought was more important to me and what I wanted my doctor to express. And obviously I went into that, I just want breast milk from me. I don't want to do formula. I like my partner to sleep in the room. And then at the end, I just put, just because I thought it was nice, but thank you for respecting my wishes. And of course, I know things don't go as planned and we'll be flexible with decisions. I would like to stick to the plan as much as possible and be well informed if we need to make changes or adjustments. So that's pretty much my birth plan. I know that was a little bit long-winded and that was a lot of stuff to go over, and as quick as amount of time as I could. I think there's definitely pros, there's definitely cons to birth plans. A lot of people do it, a lot of people don't. Again, if you have any questions about birth plans, whether it's my birth plans, where to get more information, I will leave the link to the bump birth plan in the description below. But yeah, I'm glad to share it with you. It's good to share it as well. I hope my family's watching and I want to get their insights as well. So if they have things that happened to their delivery that they didn't expect it or stuff, and I've talked to my mom about a lot of different stuff, and it's good to just get different people's stories and talk to them. And that's why I haven't printed my birth plan yet, because I feel like certain things are changing, especially with me trying to figure out the bath and how long I want to leave the umbilical cord before we cut it and stuff like that. So it's really good to get the insight from your family and research online and just do your research. But yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I hope you got something from it, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and definitely leave comments or questions below, or any guidance that you have for me as far as birth plans and the birthing experience. But I hope you guys all had a great day. Have a great day. Not had one, have one. Bye.